Jay Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Single game tickets for the 2026 Florida Gators football season under first-year head coach John Summerall are now on sale for the general public. The Gators this year will be playing host to teams such as Florida Atlantic, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma, as well as Vanderbilt. Right now, 89 degrees at 1:58. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Aaron Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Two very special birthdays today. One would be my husband, Brian. Happy birthday, Brian.
Happy birthday, Brian.
The other would be LaQuint Allen, Jaguars running back. I don't want to see, thank you, RJ. I don't want to see the two of them get into a fight by any means.
Brian and LaQuint?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
That's the first thing we think about when we think about LaQuint.
Yeah.
Is he's ready to roll.
Ready to go,
I'm sure Brian can hold his own. Not saying anything against
He's
him.
ready to hit somebody. LaQuint Allen is on that field or off, it feels like.
Absolutely.
But as long as it's on, he don't get trouble or get caught off, he's good by me. The way he comes up to block people is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's been vicious since he's gotten here.
I know.
I mean, just from the get-go and going after, it's funny. You've heard the stories, right? He goes after the star player and
Just like get in their head a little bit. Yeah.
And make sure he gets contact on him, all types of stuff, man. That's the kind of guy you want on your team. But happy birthday to him as well.
Yeah, I forget which player said it when asked who's the biggest trash talker. I think whomever it was on Jaguars Today. And he was asked who's the biggest trash talker on offense, and the player said Quentin Morris. And I was thinking, like, really? Not LaQuint?
Oh.
Okay.
Or Britton
That's
Strange. I
interesting,
feel like
yeah.
Strange is also like low-key feisty.
Yeah. Well, I think guys that are confident in their abilities to throw it on, they don't talk that much. So maybe that's what that's all
Just fly
about.
on
They're
the
like, you
radar.
can look at me. You can tell. Some of the guys, you don't need to hear them talk to know they'll beat you up.
Yeah, or just look at him. Like, oh, never mind. It wasn't
I
looking.
see,
It
it's
wasn't
fine.
looking. diffuse.
That's how Baselli is.
That's right. The giant who walks by like, ooh, where'd this guy come from? Yeah. I told you that story when Harley first saw him in the hallway. She froze. She's like, Daddy's a giant. I'm like, I know. Look at him. He's massive. But yeah, yeah. But yeah. So what are the birthday plans? We got birthday plans?
Just dinner.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are you
normal
cooking? 'Cause normally he cooks. So do you cook for him on his
definitely
birthday?
not cooking.
No.
That's the last thing he would want.
Yeah.
Is me in the kitchen.
That's not a
Okay,
good
I'm going to cook
birthday.
for you.
No.
No, that's okay. Don't worry about it. I got it. Yeah.
Probably it's either seafood or sushi, depending on what he's in the mood for.
Nice.
So yeah,
Sounds
I
good.
like those options.
yeah. I don't know that I've ever cooked him a meal, like literally in all the time we've been together.
Breakfast?
Maybe like one. Oh, I've definitely cooked breakfast, but
Okay.
I mean like
That-
dinner.
Okay.
I don't think.
Breakfast counts.
Maybe I've cooked dinner like one time,
Yeah.
and it probably didn't go according to plan. I'm an okay sous chef. I'm really slow, but like I'm willing to do that stuff. He's just so much faster that he's basically like just steer
I've got
clear.
it. You're in the way at this
Correct.
point.
Just
yeah.
do dishes. That's all he needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the dish guy.
Yeah.
And
Good
I like
dish.
getting them done while they're cooking.
Oh,
I
that's
can't
smart.
stand after, like, when you're done eating, you're full.
And everything's sitting
Then you look
there.
at it, you're like, ah.
And it started to dry on everything
Yeah.
at that point, and you're like,
Yeah.
this sucks.
You have to have a certain kind of kitchen layout for that, because if I'm at the sink, I'm kind of in his way.
Yeah.
So I can't
You're like,
wash.
move, get out of the
Right.
kitchen.
Yeah, I can't wash as he cooks.
Yeah.
Unless he's grilling.
I think you got to go in and out to clean.
Yeah.
Like, get done with the bowl.
Like slip in, like get
Put it
back
away.
out.
Oh yeah, that
Back
does
out.
not happen in my house. There'll be times that I'll like try, and he's like, no.
This isn't working.
If you want a gourmet meal, get out of the way.
Yeah.
That's the
Right.
bottom line.
There you go.
All right, we have a new Jaguar in Sam Mustipher. Taylor, I'll defer to you, considering he played at Notre Dame. Obviously, he's played in the NFL now for several years, but the Jaguars did sign him earlier today. 29 years old, has played for the Bears, the Ravens, the Chargers, and the Broncos. So two connections for you.
Yeah. Notre Dame wise, loved him. Bears wise, I got trauma thinking when I saw the name. It was really bad. But granted, during that time, the Bears were bad offensively at that time. They led the league, or like in the top of the league for rushing that year. But that was the year Justin Fields had like 1,300 yards rushing or whatever, and he was just scrambling around, running, getting all of those yards. I don't think it was a lot on the offensive line that year. He not a big fan of him from that time. He's been into a lot of teams since then, so clearly the last few years it's been practice squad, so there's a reason for a lot of that, I think. But there was just a lot of times, and I came in here and I was talking to Leon because there was a point probably around 4 years ago that I came in and I was showing Leon, and I'm like, what is he doing? I don't understand. And Leon looked at the video and was like, that's awful. And it was just, he didn't know where he was a lot of times. So you would see him just looking around in places when nothing's happening, not even like blocking a person, just over to the side, lost, like not knowing what's happening in the entire play. And so that happened multiple times. Obviously, he's a center, so the snaps were bad. There's like multiple ones where he'd snap too early and hit Justin Fields in the face or under his legs. And so there's a lot of bad moments that I remember from him personally. But camp body, like I said, at Notre Dame, it was a different story. So maybe if you can get some of those things, even just through camp, you can bring something out of him. That we've talked a lot about the run game. He was a part of a good run offense. Just the passing offense was really bad. So maybe you bring him in here for some of those things. But the moment I saw the name, I sent it to like my Bears group, and I was like, the Jags just signed Sam Mustipher, and they were like, I hope he actually can stay on his feet this time. That's the kind of responses we had with him.
Due to
but
the
we'll see.
Tristan Cologne retirement.
Yeah, that's what
imagine,
I'm
right?
figuring. You need to
That's what
replace
it
a
is.
body, and that's kind of what it feels like.
It's interesting. I mean, look, you got Carvin there, you got Monheim, and you got, Hainsey. Those three should be able to take the load as far as reps, I would think.
Yeah, I don't think this signing has anything to do with Anton Harrison. Maybe
no, I think it's more than
something.
Tristan
Yeah,
Cologne
I think it's absolutely
retiring,
yep.
and he was a veteran too and known for more run blocking, but obviously he said he's done. So good for him.
Someone has to play in these preseason games. If none of the starters are going to play,
put have a body there.
Right.
I would think you want Monheim to play a lot in the preseason. I would want to see him out there, at least maybe not all game, but both games, working, at least two of them.
Yeah.
In the beginning, Carvin's got some athletic ability. I think he's really raw. He looks strong, but he's going to get a lot of reps too, and should.
Yeah.
You got to figure that out. And those guys that are backing up, you want them getting those reps, live. They're going to get them in practice, don't get me wrong, but you want your starters to get most of those reps. Go to the game. All right, backups, let's go. Let's see what you can do against their backups.
Yeah.
Do you think backup quarterback is probably the most interesting thing to watch through the three preseason games? Because I don't know that we're going to pay that much
for
attention.
Here, you mean?
Yeah, for here. As far as the joint practices, I don't know that we're usually those are on split fields, the ones and the twos.
Right.
And obviously we won't be in New Orleans, but then the two that are here will be focused on the ones, not the twos. So I would imagine these three preseason games for Jaguars fans, it's going to be, can anyone push Nick Mullins?
Yeah. It just feels like he's their guy. Yeah, he gets all the reps unless Carter or Joey starts doing something spectacular. And by the way, Bradley's got a nice release. I like how he throws the ball. He's got, he's hit some guys over the middle, and Aguilar's looked fine too at times. But I know Mullins has struggled like last couple times, but he gets all the reps. So I think they're comfortable with him being the backup, regardless of how his preseason goes. You know what I mean? I think he's the guy. Trevor probably likes him. You know what I mean? Not to say those guys aren't worthy, but the backup's more than just coming in and winning.
Yeah, it's helping
the
main quarterback study.
Guy.
Yeah. And those other two are young, Carter and Joey Aguilar.
Yeah.
The one thing I wondered when the Jaguars got Aguilar as an undrafted free agent was, because he can scramble, does that help him as far as the backup goes? Because I don't think Nick Mullins is scrambling
moving around much at all.
No.
And I think that one, to me, I think will be interesting here. I don't know, to your point, everything we've seen has been a lot of Mullins, so I don't know if we've seen much push beyond that. But I think fans are maybe looking at other things when it comes to pass rush behind. You know who the main guys are, but there's been so much conversation of what's behind that, and there's a lot of guys on this depth chart behind that you just don't know much about, but maybe you've heard us talking about throughout camp this year or moments of last year. I think the running back group, I think the fans are going to want to watch some of that, even if it's a DJ Dallas and it's a Jamari Taylor. We've talked so much about those two guys on this show throughout camp. So I think fans have things to look for because they've heard us say a lot of these names and maybe they haven't seen any of them or just tiny glimpses of them or know them from college, but haven't really seen them since they've been in the NFL. So some of those I think can be interesting interesting. And that's what preseason for a lot of people feels kind of boring because your starters aren't in there and it doesn't matter. But for guys trying to make the roster, this is where you can improve those chances big time. And I do think there's some guys on this roster. You have a couple good, especially down obviously deeper in the depth chart. But if you have a couple good spring, I keep saying spring, it's not spring, preseason games, then all of a sudden, maybe this the battle for that fourth spot is yours.
It feels like spring outside in comparison to what it's been.
Springtime.
I want to see LeQuint get some carries as a tailback, preseason.
You think we'll see that in the games?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he'll get a lot of run on third down. But, listen, and we love him. He's not going anywhere, obviously. The guy that I'm going to keep an eye on is that Jamari Taylor because they say he can block as well. But he's a different kind of back, right? He's more of a scat back, we used to call him, right? Smaller in stature, but really quick and shake you out of your shoes, really good in the pass game. May not have home run hitting ability, but pretty dang close. I want to see what he can do.
Or does Amir Abdullah say, keep me as the fourth running back?
Amir, it's amazing he's still doing it at his age, but he ran away from the defense yesterday. No, it was the backups a lot, but who cares? There's still good athletes out there, and he outraced them all to the end zone. They didn't catch him.
Yeah, right. And maybe you want that veteran because you have a year two guy and a guy who's been in the league a little longer than that, but not a ton of reps, when it comes to the amount of carries he's had in the NFL. So bringing a veteran that has had experience on multiple teams, multiple offenses and playoffs, all of those things, I think is a positive thing.
Guy? Has he been? Because he looks like he could return kickoffs.
I feel like
Abdullah.
Yeah.
I know he's not
he has.
big, but that's okay. He's very shifty and
I would imagine he's done some sort of special teams to be able to play as long as he has.
Yeah,
because,
of course.
Like the last, other than with the Raiders, he had 311 yards in 2024. But outside of that, it's been under 200 yards other than 2017, right? Like every other year has been under 200 yards. So I would imagine there has to be special teams in there.
Yeah, so it said for both the Lions and the Colts, he was a big part of their return game. He had a 104-yard return while playing for the Lions against Green Bay, and that was in 2015. And then recent returns, it says, he's continued handling special teams duties and deep returns later in his career, such as an 81-yard kickoff return against the Chargers and a 49-yard return against the Falcons. So definitely experience there.
We'll take that.
Yeah.
We'll take that all day. And I know DJ Dallas can return. So that's enough to get your juices flowing to watch a preseason game. I do want to see the backup tackles.
Yeah.
We're going to go through that. Not what are we doing? Not
players who need to step up.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Yeah. Regis would be one of them for me. I think he
Are we saying like through camp step up or even from last year step up?
No, I think
this
like
year?
to make the roster and what you've seen so far in training camp.
Okay. I always thought it was like that, but just what have we seen in camp up until
that
this
you would
day?
like to see more.
Who needs to step up?
Yeah.
Like who's kind of faded a bit.
However you want to define it, you define it.
Okay. Well, it's your husband's birthday, so maybe you should have that, that power.
Yes, I'll allow him. By the way, from the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, haha, I ran into LeQuint Allen at the town center in a jewelry store. The dude is ripped.
Yeah, he is.
We know.
Looks good.
Anytime you see players, I mentioned it with Anton Harrison, you don't see a ton of tackles in the NFL wanting to show off their stomachs. LeQuint Allen is one of those guys out there that loves showing, like has the jersey up, wants to show off the work that he's put in.
I mean, that's what you do, right?
Yeah.
If you
some
got abs,
the
you want to
opposite
show
way.
the abs.
Like Parker Washington is also ripped, but he's got the long sleeves, the shirt, the shirt down.
And then you have the lineman who's just bellies. It's just like bellies hanging out. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you?
Devon Hamilton wears sleeves a lot.
He does.
His arms are cut in the sleeves.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big dude. I'm looking forward to seeing him year two. We talk about, guys year two in the system, year two for him and what he can do because he helped us quite a bit against that run. Look, 2 years ago, I said it, right? I'd seen him get pushed down the field. You're like, how does that guy get pushed down the field?
Right.
But he didn't get pushed down the field last year.
He's fully healthy, obviously, now.
Yeah.
Once he had the back
stuff,
medical stuff. And,
I don't know. Listen,
and
I get that's part of it, but when you're cleared, you're cleared. So you still shouldn't be pushed 10 yards down the field.
I understand.
Whether you're sick or hurt or anything. Sorry.
I think it just
don't play then.
No, I get it. I think it just took him a while to get back to the form that he's in because he is such a big
he looks
guy.
Good.
Yeah,
he looks
sure,
good.
Absolutely.
He looks good. That's
all right. Yes, we will discuss players that need to step up when we return. So keep it right here. Helmets and Heels 1010 XL 92.5 FM.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
The field goal is good. They have come back from 27 nothing to win the game.
1010XL, home of the Jaguars.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
David Garrard here, and once again, I'm reporting good news about how good my knees are doing following PRP treatment at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. For an old quarterback like me, my knees are in great shape.
You don't have to be a celebrity or a professional athlete to appreciate the everyday personal attention you'll receive at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. For any orthopedic need, call on the pros at SOS.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here of Helmets and Heels. Are you looking for a remix on the original Chick-fil-A sandwich? The Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is back for a limited time only this summer. It's a flavorful spin on a familiar favorite, created with Chick-fil-A chicken, a drizzle of honey, pickled jalapenos, and a spread of savory pimento cheese. This sandwich combines your favorite flavors with a new twist, available for a limited time only, so stop by and enjoy the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich at Chick-fil-A today.
Take a radio boat ride with Captain Cabin on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Reeled in by the Pest Pros at Royal Pest Services and Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Frank Frangie here for my friends at Coyle Fencing. You've heard me talk about our Bregan baseball complex with walk-off charities, and we needed a batter's eye. Nobody knew how to do it. Coyle figured it out, and it is great. Since then, Coyle & Sons has completed hundreds of projects, including most recently our football fields at Fort Family Park. The bottom line is they do everything. They do it well. It looks great. I trust Coyle & Sons. You can too. Since 1927, they've been getting it right. CoyleJacks.com, C-O-Y-L-E Jacks.com. That's where you find them. A proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey, it's Greg from 1010XL, and I want to share some cold, hard truth with our listeners. I've been around 250 pounds for the last 15, 20 years, but this year, I finally found a strategy that works for me. This week, my scale says 200. That's 50 pounds gone forever in just 3 months with Awaken 180. Not shooting chemicals in my body every week. I'm eating real food every single day. And obviously, I'm not some celebrity telling you about a magic new food or asking you to count points or calories. You're just eating food to lose weight. It's that simple. So whatever your goal weight is, Awaken 180 will get you there quickly and safely. It's a clear path without disappointment. I'm down 50. Matt dropped 40 pounds in 2 months. Hackers lost over 100. And Frank's daughter is down over 150 pounds in less than a year. Awaken 180 changed our lives, and I promise it'll change yours too. Give him a call at 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Is it just coincidence that you have your Notre Dame Irish Cup today, Taylor?
I switched it out the other day actually because I've been using my Scream one that I got from the Scream movie, and I felt like now we're back into fall, so it actually maybe gets pulled back out in October. But I was like, it's almost college football time. We'll get the Notre Dame one back out.
I was trying to think, would Robert Hainsey and Sam Mustipher have played together? But
they overlapped for 2 years.
2 years, okay.
17, 18, they were both there.
Okay, so yeah, there's some familiarity between them.
And I was about to mention that in the last one. I don't know how much that factors into it, but it could be at least, Hainsey is familiar with him to come in, and you have somebody that is in the room that you can come right in and be like, oh, here, how is Liam work? How is this? And those type of conversations. Not sure, Hainsey went and said, hey, bring Sam Mustipher here.
Sure.
Not that route, but they do have some familiarity, so that's good.
Yeah,
both centers.
Yeah, and look, nothing happens without a reason, right? The guy leaves, you got to bring a guy in, and then he's going to battle it out with Carvin probably for the third center spot, right?
Yeah, and like we said yesterday, I wonder if we'll see a signing of a linebacker here in the near future with some injuries to that position.
With Bartlett.
Yep.
Was there a report on him yet?
Not yet, but I would imagine we'll find that out tomorrow post-practice.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's the way it goes.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
No doubt.
All right, let's get it to some Jaguars that need to step up. I'll kick things off with a guy we were just discussing. I'll say Nick Mullins. I feel like I'm not saying that Carter Bradley and Joey Aguilar are necessarily going to win the backup job, and I don't even know that they're really pushing him at this point in time. But is there another guy on the street that might be a little bit better than Nick Mullins if something were to happen to Trevor Lawrence? That's what I am starting to wonder, just because every time we look up, it's another interception thrown by Nick Mullins. And it's not always the quarterback's fault. We've done into that. But I just feel like I would have liked to have seen more from him, because it's year 2 for him in this system with Liam Cohen, but he obviously is familiar with it with Grant Udinski prior to this.
Yeah, I think he's definitely for me. I mean, I feel like the majority of camps I'm saying, oh no, more than anything when it comes to picks, him throwing the ball, just taking too long to make decisions. You see him running around back there. If the sacks were actually a thing, he'd probably have 50 by now throughout camp, because he just doesn't make decisions quick enough. And to your point, you'd feel like that'd be a little farther along, considering this is year 2 in the system. If this is any of the younger guys that it's the first time, then you're going through what Trevor did last year. Maybe it is a lot of information. You're figuring things out, but you would expect him to be able to at least make those decisions and kind of get the ball out a little quicker. The weapons for the most part. Most of them were already here. And so some of those things, it's a little discomforting that you aren't farther along. So I'm a little surprised that we didn't see a veteran getting added to this group. And maybe it is, I don't know. If maybe you get to the point where you're like, oh, I don't feel like this offense is running efficiently enough. And if, God forbid, Trevor gets hurt, which was 2 seasons back to back, you lost him for a month. If that happens again, you do want somebody in here that can run the same type of offense as Trevor. And I don't know, to your point, Lauren, maybe Aguilar, but we haven't been able to even really see him push for that either.
Yeah, they're the backup QBs. All 3 of them were on my list. I don't think anybody. All those things you said about Mullins, you're expecting him to be better. And neither one, I haven't seen Aguilar or Bradley throw a wow pass. Or that was a good throw. Maybe one here and there, but that doesn't ring a bell from the eye test. So none of them's really stepped up and given any kind of comfort of being a backup. Now, with that being said, Grant's from Minnesota. Mullins is from Minnesota. Trevor. I think he's the guy, but I'm sure they're holding him accountable. Look, we got to make sure that when he does go down, or if you're ready, you can't be turning the ball over. You can't be not knowing where to go. You have to be ready. So I would expect Nick Mullins to bounce back a little bit and perform better as camp goes on. But if he doesn't, of course, James Gladstone's job is to fill that room with somebody, a quality backup that you can count on if something happens to Trev.
And it is interesting. We aren't really going to ever see Nick Mullins go in with the starting offensive line and all the starting pass catchers and things like that. But
you're also seeing him against the backup defensive players
at times,
too. Most
absolutely.
of the time.
Through a lot of camp, up until the last couple days, we saw 1s versus 2s. So Mullins had the 1s coming at him when he's got the second team, everything around him.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I was just, I guess, hoping that it was going to be a clear Nick Mullins as QB2.
Well, look, Trevor's been under pressure as well, but he stands in. Now, he's built a little different, obviously, but he stands in there and makes the throws.
Yeah.
Nick, it feels like he's ready to get out of Dodge
immediately,
pretty quickly.
Right.
Which is, maybe just he's not comfortable throwing it to the backup receiver. I don't know.
And he's
you
not,
never know what it could
he's not a mobile quarterback. Whereas we finally saw yesterday, Trevor had a nice long run against the starting defense, which was good to see.
Yeah.
And obviously, they're not going to do a ton of that in training camp. But yeah. All right, Tom, give me another one outside of the QBs.
You know, the tight ends haven't really done that much. You know, Koziel has a little bit. You know, and we know Brenton's awesome, but you haven't seen that.
Brenton,
much
I think,
has
been a little bit limited.
Dinged up?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that's probably
part of
why.
it, yeah.
Borkature, they just started throwing to yesterday. Like before yesterday, I think he had 2 catches. He caught him. You know, they caught him. You know,
good
he made a completion. It was fine. Yeah, it was fine. You know, Quentin Morris, I don't know what to expect. Hunter had a play. Hunter Long had 1 play, but it just doesn't seem like it. You know, and part of it is the defense is all over.
Yeah,
the defense is making plays, so the defense, you know, has had some better days overall. But the tight ends, and I'm just talking in the passing game, not the run blocking game. But nobody's really just like, oh wow, that I saw a flash of something great.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, and I agree on that. I think OTAs, we talked a lot about Koziel. He flashed a lot in that, but it has been a little bit more quiet in that room in general, which I think so much of you draft 2 of them, and you already have Brenton Strange, and the conversation of this 12-13 personnel and what you're going to see, I think a lot of us were expecting to be like, whoa, the tight ends are flashing, and this is such a big part of the offense, and you just haven't really seen that. It's early, but I agree if that is something that is going to be one of a focal point at certain times during the year that you're going to lean on, you'd hope you'd start seeing some flashes somewhere, especially with a Brenton Strange. And if he is a little bit of limited, that's one thing, but you have that familiarity already with this offense and with Trevor. So you would want to see that. I was talking about the drill I was watching the other day. The safeties beat the tight ends almost every single rep on that one. The ball was hitting the ground almost every single time. So that isn't the most comforting thing to see very early in that sense. The tight end group, I think I'm not worried about that group, but I do think you want to see more and soon.
Well, and Koziel was going to always look good in OTAs because, as Liam called it, it was passing camp.
Yeah.
And he's 6'7".
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah, and obviously he's got great agility.
Yeah,
so
you saw the quickness there.
Yeah, he was going to look good. And then once the pads went on, can he still flash?
Plus, there is a period of adapting to the talent around you. You know, so take like a tight end who in college gets off the line of scrimmage, no problem. Like nobody can hold him up. Then you get to practice and your first rep, you're like, damn, I can't get this guy can let me off the line. You're like, what the heck's going on? It does take a few practices to just get that down. Like for me, it was all angles, right? So I'm not always the fastest guy out there. So when they're all faster, I'm like, well, I got to take a different angle.
Yeah.
It took a minute, like to adjust to just the speed, the size, the strength.
Yeah.
But that's when eventually they'll break free of that. You know, they're like, all right, that's not that. I can knock his hands down and get up on.
Yeah.
You know, my coach showed me the technique, how to do it, and I'm going to do it. And I'm big enough, strong enough. You know, become more confident. Doesn't matter that they're a veteran and you're a rook, you know, those kind of things. So I think that'll get better over time, but it does take a little bit of an adjustment. I mean, look, I'm sure, 74 catches in college for Tanner Koziel his senior year, at 6'7", he's probably taller than everybody out there. He's probably just as athletic as everybody out there, and he's probably a little bit as strong, and then you get to the next level and you're like, ooh, and nobody's that tall, but they're faster, they're a little bit stronger. You get used to it,
and more
though.
physical. That's the thing.
Yeah,
like
it's a little
in
bit
college,
different.
it's just not going to be the same level of
gotta adapt a little.
physicality.
Yeah,
right, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's where, and I will say, when the Jaguars they've done a ton of team run, and I am not looking at the blocking tight end during the run periods. I'm always watching the running backs and the linebackers at that point in time. I feel like for me, I would need a little bit of film study to be able to watch exactly what the tight ends are doing. And how they're blocking. I'll say that. So
unless you see someone on the ground, that's when you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Borkature may be doing a fantastic job, and they may tell you they've been impressed with that element so far. I don't want to be disingenuous and say I've focused on Borkature and team run.
I do watch when the tight end comes in motion, or if they're on a D. I want to see how they initially block, but then the ball, the eyes go to the ball. I'm just trying to figure out who's doing
especially
what.
too, we're blocked sometimes by players, or they're on the opposite side of the field and they're going in the opposite direction. So so it is really difficult to see. Taylor, before I get to yours, one comment from the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 904-641-1010 if y'all want to get in on the action. Travis Hunter is probably our best option for quarterback if Trevor gets hurt. I thought he would say Jacoby Myers if he was going to say a
Jacoby used to be.
Yeah, position player. But I know Jacoby said Travis Hunter could probably throw the football if they need him to. Can Liam Cohen still play? Can we get him out there? Quarterback?
Emergency QB Liam Cohen.
I mean, we had him set obviously records in college at UMass. So.
Yeah, still holds them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm imagining that Liam would tell you no, he cannot get out there. But yeah, that's where we've come to, is that we're conversating about the head coach. Taylor, who's a player for you that needs to step up?
Yeah, I'm going to go Ezra Cleveland. I've seen just him get beat way too many times for my liking, and I also think there's options behind him. You drafted a guy in Emmanuel Pregnon. You want to probably see a little bit more out of Pregnon at certain moments too, but Milam, and then we talked last year when Walker Little came in and played right guard. So there's so many guys that I think could battle for that. And it is so early. I wouldn't say somebody's pushing Ezra yet, but I could see in a couple weeks where that conversation could be had, just because you do have options behind him and guys that they've drafted that are their guys that are younger, obviously maybe a little bit quicker. We know Ezra is one of the guys that's very physical, and that's what we love about Ezra. And so but I just haven't seen that as much this camp. I just feel like, especially one-on-ones, I've been seeing him get beat a lot. And if we're talking about the stink and we're talking about fixing this run game and we're talking about Trevor not getting sacked over 40 times, I do think those guards are going to be really important this year. And we've seen them move things around when it comes. We've talked about, Anton playing on the left side and some of those things going. And so we're seeing a lot of movement in the middle, but it does feel like Hainsey and Ezra have been kind of at that spot a lot. And so you'd expect them to also be a little farther along, in my opinion. And I just feel like he's getting beat a little bit too much for my liking, pushed back into the quarterback or just completely missing on blocks.
No, he has. I think if I had to rank centers and guards, Milam has stood out the most.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think they like him a lot. He's a big son of a gun, and he's vicious.
He had a really good rep on Eric Armstead the other day where I was like,
he did.
Whoa.
He had a good rep on Foye. Did you see that in the team?
I didn't see the Foye one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a real good one.
But that's why I'm like, you're going against guys like that and you're holding your own, your eyes open a little bit for him.
I think, and then you're right. Pregnan's a little raw still, but he's got so much power and athleticism that he's going to get it eventually. But I haven't been. I mean, look, it's again what you said about the block. The tight ends blocking. They're only blocking so hard up front. I mean, they are being very physical. Don't get me wrong. And some guys are going to the ground, but it's not like a game situation. You know what I mean? But yeah, Ezra. The only thing I could not in defense, but give him a little benefit of the doubt is that he's an older vet. He knows when to turn it on. Yeah. Maybe he just hasn't turned it all the way on in camp yet. Yeah. He's just kind of getting through, do you
do that when you have guys lingering behind you to hopefully take your spot?
No, but he, look.
Makari's banged up right now.
Well, Makari's on my list, but that's because of injury. It's just too bad he's injured.
Hard to tell
I wish he wasn't hurt. Or just feeling better. He's not hurt, but feeling better, because he looked like he really got into some great shape. I like you said about Walker. I think Walker's attitude is a little different this year, it feels like. And not just the way he's blocking, when Dickerson was going after Monheim, he was the first one. He didn't even put his helmet on, went right at him and said, get that beeping and beep out of here. And,
Good for him.
It was like, I was like, whoa, Walker. Man, where's that been? And then that same drill, he asked Trey, he's like, hey, Trayvon, let's go again. Come over the guard. And he played guard, and he blocked him. The guy's ultra athletic for a big guy. All he was missing is that twitch, switch of just boom. I'm going to wreck you for a minute. Not ruin your career, just ruin your day. That's all you have to do, But we'll see. I think it's still got to be battled out.
Yeah. I wish Makari was healthy so that we could see the two of them side by side almost. Not in the line, but as far as on the one-on-ones, like watch Wyatt take on a defender and then watch Makari do it. Yeah. Because last year, Milam was hurt a little bit through training camp, so we just didn't get to see as much of him. But yeah, I wish we could see that.
I wish we, and it's nothing against Haynes. I just wish we had a real competition at center, Yeah. And I don't know if it's Monheim.
Pushing him.
I don't know if it's him. I got to see more out of him. I know they like him, obviously, and he's a good athlete, big kid. But And there's nobody on the roster. I'm not sitting there going, we joked, man, wouldn't it be great if Cole Van Lannon came back and he could play center?
Yeah.
Like, that would be, because the one thing about Hainsey, the bull rush, he doesn't hold up that well on the bull rush. It's against bigger guys his size, because he did stop somebody. Yes, I think it was a row. Like, he handled him fine. He actually lined up at guard to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if he saw that in the one-on-ones, and he handled him fine. But the big guys, now granted, some of these nose tackles, like Devon Hamilton.
Right, yeah.
So if you pin them next to each other, Devon's a lot bigger, probably 40 pounds heavier. So it is hard one-on-one. And like I said earlier, like in the week, like you got the guard crashing to help you, because then you can recover. And by the time we recover, the ball should be gone, or the QB's gone, or you made the block enough on the run game, Yeah. So, I don't know. Not everybody can be Jason Kelsey. Me and my brother were talking about, like, man, if we had Jason Kelsey, I'm like, oh, man, wouldn't that be great? That kind of center, that's just that dominant. That does. It's like a dominant nose tackle, what it does for a run game, just defending the run. A dominant center, what it does for your entire O-line and for your run game. It's just unbelievable if you can have somebody like that. So
big time.
Jason Kelsey is the deodorant.
Yeah, he was
for the stink.
For the stink, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, more Jaguars need to step up, and Tom's take awaits on the other side. Keep listening to Helmets and Heels 1010 XL 92.5 FM.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Hacker here for Cornerstone Interior Solutions. If your AC is working overtime every summer, your insulation may be the problem. Homeowners and builders across Northeast Florida are calling Cornerstone to upgrade to spray foam insulation. It seals homes, crawl spaces, garages, blocking in cool air and blocking out heat. So your home stays cooler, your system runs easier, and your energy bills stay under control. Don't wait for peak heat. Visit CornerstoneInteriorSolutions.com.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
For every special occasion, Kuhn Flowers can deliver a beautiful floral arrangement with a click, a call, or a visit to one of their beautiful showrooms. This is JJ. When you need to show someone you love that you remembered, think Kuhn Flowers.
This August, experience David Bowie like never before with the Jacksonville Rock Orchestra at Florida Theater. Hear the unforgettable songs that made David Bowie a legend. A 27-piece symphony orchestra joined by a full rock band changes the music of David Bowie. Saturday, August 8th at Florida Theater. Get your tickets now at floridatheater.com.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Longer days, warmer nights, and a backyard that brings everyone together. Spring and summer in Florida means pool days, backyard barbecues, and night swims under the stars. Pickett here. For nearly 50 years, Surfside Pools has been creating the backdrops for life's best memories. From weekly service and repairs to remodels, commercial maintenance, and new pool construction, Surfside does it all. Ready to float happy? SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools. Summer starts here. License number CPC 044080.
Hey, Tom McManus here for Armstrong Fence Company, locally owned First Coast business for nearly 20 years. Hey, hurricane season is upon us, so don't wait for that first storm warning. Your fence is your first line of defense. Loose boards, weak posts, or damage can turn into big problems in those high winds. Armstrong Fence Company handles repairs and builds from stadiums to your own backyard. Get a pre-storm fence check today. Call Armstrong Fence Company or search online. Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
Hey, it's Matt Lennon with AB Signs. If you own a business, your best salesperson never calls in sick, never takes a day off, and works 24 hours a day, it's your sign. From vehicle graphics and fleet branding to storefront signage, banners, and decals, AB Signs helps your business attract attention and build credibility. If you're ready for your business to look more professional and generate more visibility, call Matt at AB Signs. We'll make your business impossible to ignore.
Picking here, or maybe you should call me Dreamfinders Danny. Look what Dreamfinders is doing again, an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down the rate and get in the game. You heard me right, a 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Topic Minutes, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you as we cruise through a Wednesday afternoon. Jaguars back on the practice field tomorrow, and then the teal and white mock game. 3 hours of practice on Friday, as Tom giggles, or maybe sneers at the teal and white mock game. 8:30 to 11:30 for the fans that get to go out there. They'll get to see a full 3 hours of practice.
Awesome.
You're excited about it.
Yeah. Well, they call it a mock game, but it's not really a game.
Right. I'm assuming it's much more of a scrimmage. And so that way, if the coaches see something that they don't like, they can stop it. It's not going to be a true,
Yeah. It'll be good step. That'll be another test to, it's all those steps of the process, right? So the next one is to have a little full-on scrimmage.
Yeah. Did you ever have a 45-minute walkthrough during training camp?
Never during training camp. During the season, yeah.
Right.
Of
I know
course,
on
every day.
Fridays is the typical walkthrough during the season, but yeah, they're going to have, like we talked about, 45 minutes on Saturday. That's it.
Yeah.
11 to 11:45. In and out.
I think I'm going to call it right now. I won't be at that one.
Why? What's the point of that?
I guess after the 3 hours on Friday, they just want to tone it down.
Look at each other for a second.
Yeah.
High five.
Yeah, you'd think that would have been decided if there were a lot of, say, pre-snap penalties or things like that during the mock game, but nope, they've already decided it. All right, a question from the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures I want you to think about as you're doing your take. So I'm going to make you work.
Can he do both at the same time?
Two thoughts at once?
So that's a lot.
Hang on, let me get it right.
From the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 904-641-1010. Tom, what is your opinion on the linebacker Parker Hughes? He's an excellent story. I hope he makes the roster. If you'd like to answer now, you can, or you can.
I can answer now.
Okay, go for it.
He's very fast. I think he's one of those guys that is still adapting to the, and rightfully so, adapting to the speed and the size of everything, because he's not he's straight line fast. I know he's got more athletic ability, and he's gotten better. Don't get me wrong. He's moving around a lot better. Early on in camp, it felt like he was just a little hesitant, if you will, but they love his speed. If he can cover, his deal is special teams. And with that kind of speed, he should be a monster on special teams, right? Because if you say you're on punt team, you get away from your first guy, and you're running a 4-4, even a 4-5, whatever. You're running away from your guy. You know what I mean? No, they're not catching up to you. So he should be able to make a bunch of tackles on special teams. And then, if they need him to play, he's just got to be ready to go. I see him more as a Will, not a Mike. I know he played Mike in college. I think because of his speed, you want to cover him up and let him roam. But he's in the mix. I would say right now, because Kaiser's hurt especially, that he would make the team. I think if you think about Foye, Ventrell, just the inside guys, right?
Yeah.
Branson, and then Parker. I would think he's in that mix if they would keep 4 inside guys. It all comes down to special teams and if he can cover. I was talking to Coach Duff, and maybe he's talked about it on air, but I asked him off the air 2 things. I said, one, did you guys already know who your team was at this time in camp? He said, absolutely not. He's like, we knew our starters, but this whole thing that they know they're 48 and it's just the final 5, he's like, that's a bunch of crap, because you never know what can happen. Rookie coming in, free agent coming in, it could be better than your second team guard or backer or whatever. So that was interesting. And then number 2, I said, well, when it comes down to it, who picks? He's like, special teams coach will always have, if it comes down to 2 guys, they go right to the special teams guy. Who do you want? and then he picks who he wants, and then that's the final. That's how that whole, which I thought was it makes sense. It's common sense, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're not going to be the starter, you can't just stand on the sidelines and not do anything unless you're a backup lineman,
right?
That's not on special teams, you know.
Which we were talking about it, why wide receiver room is interesting in that with the Tim Jones or the two young guys and what that looks like, and that's why I do think Trammell
because of his special teams abilities.
Yeah, absolutely. And then more than just returning, like you mentioned, like his coverage, his return, his blocking, it's all that stuff.
I have to say, once special teams starts at practice, like once they turn their attention to that, my mind wanders.
Nobody pays attention to it.
I almost got hit in the head with the field goal the other day.
We were walking past the netting, and I looked up to see the ball drop, and I was like,
didn't even warn me. She just let
well, you were on the other side. I didn't have to warn you. I was going to walk in front of the netting, and then I stopped to look up. The ball dropped, and I was like, I'll be going on the side where you were smartly on. But yes, I could have warned you.
Well, their special teams will be big and fast. That's for sure. They've upgraded the talent, the athletic talent on this
and
team.
he far well knows what he wants, right? Like he's one of the best.
He was retained.
Yeah, he's one of the best special teams coaches in all of the league.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the other guys have to listen to him when he talks about special teams. All right, time now for Tom's take.
Now, Tommy's Takes. Protected by Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com. Or dial #law. That's all.
All right, I actually wrote this one down because I saw it earlier. I didn't want to forget. I think I learned that from one of you or both of you. Like, write it down so you don't forget, right? But my take today on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon, brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, of course, for the people, is I read where Jackson Dart started a scuffle at Giants camp recently. He scored a touchdown and tossed or threw the football at a player's head, a defender's head, and then the scuffle went crazy.
Greg Newsome, by the way, is who he.
Thank you, Taylor. The defender's head is Greg Newsome, the former Jaguar, which is funny. And then what's even more funny is Isaiah Likely was quoted saying, "Oh yeah, Greg's a dog," and I was like, "Greg's a dog?" Like. Maybe off the field. What do you mean he's a dog? He's like, yeah, he's always been a dog. I'm like, what are you talking about? But players sticking up for each other nonetheless. But Jackson Dart, the QB punk ass QB starting fights, goes after a DB like Greg Newsome. Go after somebody bigger, buddy. Yeah.
What'd you do if someone threw a ball at your face, like the quarterback?
You got to whip it back at him or hit him with your helmet or something or kick him while he's walking away. Something.
I will say, we don't have those types of things happening. Like you saw yesterday, too, Jeffrey Simmons threw a punch in a team drill, and then he was held out of practice off to the side for their main. Yeah,
he did.
If that happened here, can you imagine the negativity that would be coming, not from just within the fan base, but obviously like
LeQuint did last year. He did throw a punch.
That's right. Miami was a big scuffle.
Yeah,
Miami one was a big scuffle. You know, look, I like what both coaches did. So Harbaugh, he didn't like it, and he said, all right, well, the extra point, we got the penalty, so now you got to kick a 48-yarder for the extra point. And he handled it a little bit, different in that regard. Robert Saleh's like, look, man, you throw a punch in a game, you're out. So you're out.
Yep.
Like, forget it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't. I want you to be aggressive, but you can't be throwing punches.
Yeah.
And
you also
can't.
have to control it.
You want to. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
There's plenty of times you want to throw an uppercut or punch him or something, but you just can't. And you've got to be able to be disciplined enough to not do that. Because if it happens in a game, as we all know, and if it comes at a critical time, it just destroys everything.
Yeah, it's a killer.
Yeah, you gotta be more. And look, I'm sure Jeffrey's sitting there going, yeah, whatever, I'm going to punch who I want, but, maybe got
And I don't need practice at this point in his career. Like,
he's like, cool, let me sit down, that's fine.
Yeah, he'll be ready.
LeQuint didn't have to miss any of practice after that happened last year. All right, more to do on the other side. I would be listening if you like country music in just a few moments. Keep it right here, Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Hey, this is Russell Crowe, and you're listening to the best sports radio in the world, 1010XL Jacksonville Sports Radio.
1010XL, 92.5 FM.
What if the next roof you put on your home was the last one? Not another replacement in 15 or 20 years, the last roof. Metlock Roofing is Florida's only manufacturer and installer of this exclusive roofing system. Engineered for strength, built for Florida weather, backed by a lifetime warranty. Imagine never needing another roof. Call 938-9933 or visit metlokroofing.com. Get your last roof today with Metlock. License number CCC 1335581.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long, drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey, Tommy Mack here for Duval Glass and Mirror. You don't have to remodel your entire home to make a big impression. Sometimes all it takes is a beautiful frameless shower, a custom-cut mirror, or just replacing that fogged, cracked, or outdated glass that's been bothering you for years. Jacksonville homeowners trust Duval Glass and Mirror for expert craftsmanship, honest service, and flawless results. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote today. Only one name for glass and mirror around here, and it's Duval.
Hey, it's Greg from 1010XL, and I want to share some cold, hard truth with our listeners. I've been around 250 pounds for the last 15, 20 years, but this year, I finally found a strategy that works for me. This week, my scale says 200. That's 50 pounds gone forever in just 3 months with Awaken 180. And not shooting chemicals in my body every week, I'm eating real food every single day. And obviously, I'm not some celebrity telling you about a magic new food or asking you to count points or calories. You're just eating food to lose weight. It's that simple. So whatever your goal weight is, Awaken 180 will get you there quickly and safely. It's a clear path without disappointment. I'm down 50. Matt dropped 40 pounds in 2 months. Hackers lost over 100. And Frank's daughter is down over 150 pounds in less than a year. Awaken 180 changed our lives, and I promise it'll change yours too. Give them a call at 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
Want to stretch that dollar? Taylor Doll here to help save you money with the Money Pages magazine and app. Trying to figure out dinner? Money Pages has deals at your favorite local restaurants. Need auto repairs or an oil change? Money Pages has coupons to help you save. Looking to do some home improvement projects? Money Pages has deals on everything home, from AC repair and plumbing to flooring and painting. Check your mailbox for Money Pages today and download the app for savings on the go.
In Jacksonville, sports are a big deal. We've got the big cats, the jumbo shrimp, and kingfish. We play sports on the ice, the field, the diamond, the court, and the pitch. We swing for the fences, drive the distance, and break for the breakers. We're home to professional sports teams, including football, baseball, basketball, soccer, and hockey. Be a good sport and go to visitjacksonville.com/events or download the app to stay in the game. Go sports. Jacksonville, the flip side of Florida.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
When the sun goes down on my side of town, that lonesome feeling comes to my door, and the whole world turns blue.
If I had asked you the most listened to Brooks and Dunn song, you probably wouldn't have come up with this one, Neon Moon. But
Really?
this is their most streamed. I'm not going to say the most popular, but their most streamed song is Neon Moon.
I love this song.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love Brooks and Dunn, actually.
Me too.
They're one of the ones that I kind of forgot how much I loved them until recently. Another song, one of their other popular ones came on the radio, and I was like, man, I used to love this song. So I made a whole Brooks and Dunn playlist, and I was like, you forget how many you actually know of Brooks and Dunn if
Probably
you
like
haven't
50.
listened. Yeah, if you hadn't listened to in a while.
Yeah, you know, the first time I heard them, I was bouncing at a bar in New Smyrna Beach called Kudas.
Mm-hmm.
And it was owned by the Mets manager, Davey Johnson. He doesn't own it anymore. And he'd have, like, professional race cars in there. I met Sterling Marlin in there once. I met Buda Baker's
the safety.
No, who was the Baker driver? Bubba Baker, maybe? I don't know. Baker was his last. I thought he was a pretty famous NASCAR driver back in the day. because that was
Buddy Baker.
What's that?
Buddy
Baker. Yeah, that's him. Anyway, so I remember this song came on. I wasn't into country at all, but all the waitresses were little cute Floridian girls, and they were into it. I was like, oh,
You're like, this song's great.
This is a cool song.
By the way, I love that people are calling. I haven't even told you what you can win yet. But
Something's up.
It is a big deal. And
Huge,
next week we'll have 3 pairs of tickets for Brooks Beats. But today, 1 pair of tickets to go see Rock the Country in Ocala later this month, August 28th and 29th. You're going to see so many different acts over those 2 days. But the headliners, Brooks and Dunn, and then Blake Shelton the next day. But the likes of John Party, Shenandoah, who sing 2 Dozen Roses. I love that song.
So many good.
So if you want to go, be caller number 4, 641-1010. Caller number 4, 641-1010. You can get your tickets right now if you don't win them today and next week at rockthecountry.com. I love all kind of country music festivals, but when you have the lineups that these do, and so Rock the Country goes to multiple cities, and there's different lineups in each city, which is cool too. So you could go to this in Ocala and go somewhere else
and see different artists.
And
then see some overlap too if it's some of your favorites. Yeah, that's
we
really
saw
cool.
Brooks and Dunn in concert. It was my first and only time I've ever seen them a few years ago, and it was unbelievable. They're so good.
We went to that Country Thunder a couple times in Kissimmee. They had Lady Wilson wasn't big yet. She was out there. Al Dean was the headline. He was unbelievable. And then Morgan Wallen, the girls went absolutely insane. I remember because I was with Robbie and Jennifer, and they had this nice VIP section, and Christina and Jennifer they're like, all right, let's go see Morgan. And Robbie's like, I'm gonna hang back. He's been getting in the crowds and whatnot. And we're going through the crowd. They want to get to the stage, and I'm like, it's the hole's getting smaller and smaller to get through. Finally, I'm just like, you guys go. I'm going back with Robbie, man. I can't. This is too tight here for me.
See, I thought
they got right up the stage, and
they would have followed their blocker. Sent you.
They were tight. They could get through a lot better, I guess.
Yeah, no, I get that. And a lot of times, women will let other women come through, and
not the men,
guys, because
you're going to be in the way. Yeah, you can't come in here. Bailey Zimmerman was there.
Oh yeah, he's great.
There's a lot of cool. My wife got me into country. Especially with.
She's a good woman.
Al Dean got it going because he rocks a little bit, you know. And then I got into church a little bit, and then Keith Urban can play the guitar. So sorry, but I didn't listen to country forever, you know.
And then once you do, you realize there's so many different little genres within country too.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it.
The Luke Bryan, every song that Luke Bryan sings is so just not just poppy, but also it just catches, and you just constantly sing. You don't even realize, you're just singing along with it.
Frisky.
Yeah, the corn makes
corn makes wine or whiskey.
Whiskey, yes. Corn makes whiskey. Corn does not make wine. Grapes make wine.
You've never had corn wine before? It's unbelievable.
No, I have not.
Yeah, they smash it up real good.
All right, a couple stories from around the league I wanted to get to real quick. Texans wide receiver Tank Dell made his return to the practice field today. So that is the first time he has been in any sort of padded practice since December of 2024 when he got hurt. And we said,
that was one of the more brutal things we've seen.
They're the enemy, but just
I know, good for him in that sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then obviously, Taylor, Darnell Wright got paid a big deal, 4 years, $116 million with $93 million guaranteed. And he is the right tackle.
Yeah, the right tackle. He's so good, though. He can play left tackle, but it's kind of similar to here where he's really good. You like Anton at right and you could move him to left, but do you want to do that because he's so good on the right side? He deserves the money. Bears fans have been hoping that they re-sign him. Obviously, that was Ryan Poles' first pick when it comes to
Tennessee, right?
Yeah, he went to. He was they traded back. The Bears traded back with the Eagles. The Eagles got Jalen Carter, and the Bears got Darnell Wright, and everyone crapped on him for not taking Jalen Carter. But now you have your right tackle of the future, and he's been one of the best. He was ranked 6th best tackle in the NFL this last year.
Great year last year.
Yeah,
right, 2nd team All-Pro.
The year before, he played with a shoulder injury the entire year, and still was one of the better tackles.
It took him a little bit to get going, though, didn't it? When he
was pretty instant, but he dealt with injuries the first couple years, so it was
they flopped him, didn't
slow.
Right tackle,
they moved him back and forth a little bit.
Yeah.
So does he make more than whoever the left tackle will be in that salary?
Probably right now because the one guy was their rookie, Ozzie Trapillo, and he got hurt late in the season. So now it's Braxton Jones, who they just re-signed for a super cheap 1-year deal just because they don't know when Ozzy's going to come back. But Ozzy will be on a rookie deal when he comes back, so he's definitely making more than that.
The tag's the same. The franchise tag's the same. Left tackle, right tackle.
Well, technically, like, Panay got paid. He got paid, like, Darnell just got paid a little bit more than Panay Sewell. And Panay Sewell got paid as a right tackle, but then they announced they're moving him to left tackle. Right. So technically, he got paid that amount for a right tackle, but then he switched.
Hey, Jawan Taylor got paid to be a left tackle and stayed at right tackle. So, yeah, both tackle positions are certainly important. All right, Taylor's Tangent is on the other side. Keep it right here. Helmets and Heels, 1010 XL, and 2.5 FM.
Crank the amps and hold on tight. Closing the gap. Sunday at Iowa Speedway. Through 3 and 4. NASCAR is revved up by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 on Jacksonville's high performance NASCAR station 1010 XL.
Today, we tip our wrench to Rock Auto customer Jeremy.
I've been a RockAuto.com customer for over 15 years, and now even my kids order their parts there. Prices are always far lower than the local auto parts store. Selection is massive, and the site makes it unbelievably easy to find exactly what we need. Every order shows up fast, and the quality is always top tier. RockAuto.com has earned my trust for life, and I highly recommend them.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
ET here for Encore Research, and this summer, discover the power of research. Clinical studies are helping researchers find better ways to prevent, diagnose, and treat disease. And community members like you make it all possible. Your participation could help drive the next generation of healthcare discoveries. Find out how you can make a difference at EncoreDocs.com. Research moves forward because of volunteers like you. Let's build a healthier Jacksonville together.
Listen to whatever you like, whenever you want.
I like this.
1010XL, on demand. Ad-free shows after the live shows end. Shadowed by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Search where you find podcasts.
You can actually win a side-by-side at Best Bet St. Augustine.
You know it. Only at Best Bet. The more you play, the more chances you have to win.
Poker, great food and drinks, and a chance to drive home in that side-by-side.
That's what all the buzz is about.
Play your favorite poker and table games at Best Bet St. Augustine for your chance to win an incredible side-by-side. Earn entries now through August 7th. Grand prize giveaway happens August 8th.
Now this just got serious.
Get in the action. Feel the excitement at Best Bet St. Augustine. Details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, Hicken here. Summer air should feel fresh, not full of dust, allergens, and whatever Florida critter has been crawling around your ducts this year. Sounds gross, right? Well, it is. And your air ducts are the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, you're breathing that every day. That's where Zero Res comes in. Guys, just because you can't see in there doesn't mean you can avoid it. This month only, take $100 off air duct cleaning. That's cleaner air, better efficiency, and a fresher home, guaranteed. Call 287-5727 or visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and ask for the 1010XL special.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning, then deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Tom McMahon is here for John's Pest Solutions. This time of year means football season, but it also means pests are wreaking havoc both in your yard and in your house. Trust the people I trust, John's Pest Solutions, to solve all your pesky pest issues. From scary spiders and annoying ants to maddening mosquitoes, John's Pest Solutions will treat your lawn and your house so you can stop scratching and killing bugs and focus on the game. Visit johnspestsolutions.com today. That's johnspestsolutions.com.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high quality, very affordable hurricane rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window World,
simply the best for less.
And thank you for your business.
I'm Olivia Brooks with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. The Jags have the day off today, but the team will be back on the field Friday for the annual Teal and White scrimmage game. They'll hold a joint practice with the Panthers August 19th, and after another open practice August 23rd, they'll finish public camp hosting a joint practice with Tampa Bay August 25th. Preseason is 2 weeks away, and there are roster decisions to be made. 1010XL has your live coverage and Jags updates all training camp long. It's 92 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
RJ, have you seen the movie Michael yet? No?
The only, I think, biopic of Michael Jackson I've seen, it was like a four-parter. I think it was like Michael, was it Jackson Family or something, like an American Story or whatever, and it was like a four-parter of just like the start from the Jackson 5 to Michael becoming who he became.
Yep.
I guess it would depend on what you think of the movie as to whether it was like very good or very bad in terms of acting. But no, I've heard that the
new one's great.
Yeah, I've heard that one's really good, so I may have to go check that one out.
And it doesn't take nearly as long as the 4-part series that you're referring to.
I think that one was about like an hour a pop. Like I think they broke it up into 4 days.
Right. I remember that one. But
I do too.
This
was
one
that
is totally worthwhile.
Was that on a like it was just a streamed one?
I think so.
And it was more of a series?
4-part miniseries or something.
No, it wasn't. It was a full.
I think that was
regular TV.
Yeah, regular TV.
Because they did do. I think it was a Netflix one. What is regular
like for the
TV?
kids who don't know, yeah, that's what we used to call it when it wasn't cable. It was just regular TV.
What are these commercials?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can't tell. I remember watching it because Angela Bassett was in it.
Okay.
She's super good.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, it's been a while. Now, of course, it's going to be on Prime Video, but I don't remember what it was on when it first came out. But yeah, that's good too. This is, like I said, a little bit shorter. But again, there will be a sequel, which is good stuff because it just ends kind of abruptly, like I said. All right, time now for Taylor's Tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
A tangent today, I'm going to continue on with some Jaguars talk. And we've had a lot of conversations about the pass catchers here in Jacksonville and how dominant they really have the potential to be if things go right. Just because obviously the step we've seen Trevor Lawrence take, you added Jacoby Myers mid-season last year, you have Travis Hunter healthy, you add the 2 tight ends that you're hoping are a major piece in this. And so there's a lot of things of why we've talked about it. But I saw a clip and it was Steve Smith Sr. talking about the Jaguars in general. So there was a lot of stuff. He addresses Travis Hunter and how, he's heard they are going to use him and kind of what he personally thinks he fits best in the NFL. He doesn't think the Jags should use him as like a gadget guy. He doesn't think that that's the type of role he should play. He goes into more, if you want to go look at it, with Steve Smith Sr. and James Palmer. So they talk a lot about that. They talk about Jacoby Myers in this and how much Jacoby added immediately, which we've had that conversation, how quickly he had the playbook and made this offense look so much different last year. Now you have this full offseason with him. But he does go into Brian Thomas Jr. And Steve Smith Sr. had been very critical of Brian Thomas Jr. in podcasts in the season last year, posts even, right after the season ended, saying, kind of commenting on how do you go from this type of rookie season to having some of the issues that he was seeing. And we've talked to Jimmy Smith about it when it comes to the get off. He mentioned that. He mentioned just the drops, which we've talked about being a little bit of an issue. He talked about a little bit about his work ethic. I have never heard that personally about Brian Thomas Jr., but Steve Smith Sr. goes into even this podcast about he's not and he's like, I don't want to say he's not a hard worker. He is. He just had to learn how to practice right, is the way that he worded that. So anyways, if you want to go, it was interesting to just hear him kind of go through some of this. But I did want to play a clip because he was talking about Brian Thomas Jr. And so it was interesting to me in that sense about how you combined all of the weapons and what this potentially may look like. But then he goes on to also talk about Travis Hunter and all of that stuff. So I wanted to play this clip on BTJ and just get his comments because there was an interesting thought in here that I want to address.
But the outlier, the questionable player is what receiver in Brian Thomas Jr. are we going to get? Are we going to get his rookie year? Or are we going to get what happened last year? If we can get what happened last year a little bit, adversity, bounce back, and his rookie year somewhere in the middle, I think we're good with that. What we can't have is dropping these passes and going MIA long periods, long series of the football game where we can't find you and you're not a deep threat. Then when you do get open, you drop the football.
So it was interesting in the sense of we've had so much of, okay, are you getting Brian Thomas Jr. from last year or rookie season? And I think he made a good point of, I don't think you have to have rookie season Brian Thomas Jr. I don't know if you need 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns from him to feel like he's having a successful season. And so I think a lot of people would be happy if Brian Thomas Jr. has 900, 1,000 yards and 7 or 8 touchdowns. I think you would be impressed as long as, that drop number goes down. We talk about that. You don't want another double-digit drop season. You can't have that. To Steve Smith Sr.'s point, too, you don't want stretches like 3 games where you're barely seeing Brian Thomas Jr. either. He's this guy that the type of deep threat he can be and how that he can stretch the field and how much that could open things for the rest of the offense. So I do think he was like, we can see something in the middle and that be a really good season for Brian Thomas Jr. in this Jaguars offense. And I like that point because I feel like we've had these conversations of this or that and not the conversation of there's a middle point where you can still be very pleased with the outcome at the end of the year of BT.
Yeah. No, listen, I mean, we know what role he needs to be in the offense, right? He's got to be that big play threat, that safety, keeping him honest. I still think and wonder if he was going through a lot off the field last year. He just, his demeanor this year and even camp, his demeanor's different, right? He just looks more confident, like he's having a good time. Last year, it didn't feel like that, like during camp. I mean, not just throwing the helmet that one time, but it just didn't look like, his get-off wasn't that great. He didn't look as fast. He dropping the ball, getting frustrated. This year, you've seen none of that. You've seen him run great routes, make great plays. Him and Trevor got something going on. He looks fast. He looks strong. He looks like he's in a good mental place, And that's one thing we never know about these players. Like, what are they going through off the field or even inside their job that's making them get? It's like a baseball hitter gets in a slump. Like, it's psychological. Something's going on. Maybe something off the field, whatever.
Maybe he didn't vibe with the wide receivers coach that was here before. Not that there's anything against Chad Hall. Just maybe that just wasn't the right type of coaching for him. And Edgar Bennett comes in, and everything potentially could change.
EB's a great coach, man. He's obviously a former player, knows how to handle different personalities. But I don't really, to me, it doesn't, because I'm not a fantasy guy, so it doesn't matter anyway, but I don't care how many yards or touchdowns. Just help this team win because they do need you to win. There's nobody on the field. There's nobody on the team right now that they could just say, maybe Travis if you went full-time offense. But nobody else. And you don't want that. And I like what Liam said about Travis. You see that on somebody's podcast about, we could probably play that later, but look, he's going to be packaged in. It's not going to be the whole playbook. We're going to package you
things
in.
we'll have him learn specifically.
He made comments to when Jeremy Fowler was here on Sunday. So it's not necessarily like the audio, but I have the quote that this is Liam Cohen talking to Jeremy Fowler of ESPN on Travis Hunter. He said, where you want him in there is contested plays, tough catches, trying to get the ball in his hand because he can make you miss in a phone booth, quick screens, bubbles, what that looks like as a rep count, I still have no clue. He's got to be able to know X, F, both positions within the game plan and not the whole playbook. Third down, red zone, 2-minute specific offense of plays in the normal flow of the game. We will package him in as opposed to, look, bro, you got to know the whole offense. That was a little much last year.
Which I get that. It felt like that. You saw it and you felt it at certain points. It did. We had that conversation where it was like it felt a little forced at certain points last year, and you didn't want to have to do that again this year. And that's what, when it comes to the Steve Smith Sr. comments and the interesting thing with BT, and he said that the other comment in the podcast was he had to learn how to practice, and I wonder how much that factored in because his rookie season, we kind of all there was the same conversations in throughout camp of like, oh no, like what is this going to look like? And it took some time throughout the season, obviously rookie year. But then all of a sudden he was there. He was this guy who was making all these big plays, but he was also getting the ball at the end of the year, 10 targets, 12, 14, 13, 10, 11. So there was a lot of targets going his way, pretty much all him. And so then this year, so maybe a combination of an Edgar Bennett, maybe a combination of just fully understanding how to practice in the NFL and how to practice with this offense specifically.
Jacoby, like a
Jacoby,
veteran coming in, a mentor.
Could it also be a little bit, all that production rookie year was with Mac Jones?
Yeah.
It wasn't with Trevor.
Yeah.
So maybe it took time to get that chemistry
I think
down.
he had one 100-yard game with Trevor.
Right?
And then 3 with Mac.
Yeah. So maybe that has
Absolutely.
something
That's
just to get used to it.
Yeah.
But
the arc of Mac Jones's ball is different than the arc of Trevor Lawrence's ball.
different coming in, different placement, what have you. But look, at the end of the day, it's all about now.
Yeah.
You know, what have you done for me? He looks good. You know, obviously he's got to, they all got to prove it. I mean, you know, they got to, you know, look, Trevor hasn't had a great camp. He's been okay. He's thrown some really nice balls. He's thrown some really bad balls. We're not worried about it.
Right. Yeah.
But
We're not
he
harping on
he's
it.
got to go out there and prove that he's at that next level. So does Brian Thomas Jr. So does all of them, right? They got to, this is what you do now. You're 13-4, 13-5.
Thank you.
Let's go. Let's, you know, the next step is what? Repeat.
Yep.
Right? Let's see. Do we really have a team or do we not really have a team? Was last year a fluke or was it more of, no, this is the beginning of something great, a foundation we're laying for years and years and years. That's what we believe it to be. That's what we hope it to be.
Yeah, we
but
hope.
they all got to prove that is the case. And you're only going to do that until we start playing.
Yep.
Right? So
That is
Gonna be
correct.
fun.
It is going to be fun.
Yeah.
And going to Chick-fil-A for lunch is fun as well.
We do. Free lunch for 2 to Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010. Let's say caller number 3, you get free lunch to Chick-fil-A. Make sure you get that peach milkshake too. Perfect for the summertime and just here for the summertime. Made with real peaches, that ice cream dessert. Perfect pairing, whether you get the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich or the Chick-fil-A nuggets, whatever way. But call us right now and you get some free lunch.
That's right. And by the way, I did look it up. The Jacksons: An American Dream originally aired on ABC in November of 1992.
Whoa.
I didn't remember it had been that long ago.
Jeez, I don't
Holy
either.
moly.
But yeah, good stuff if you want to watch that. And obviously also the movie. Michael, all right, more to do on the other side. And we'll head into Lauren's lane as well. It's 1010XL on 2.5 FM.
I can get used to this winning thing! Because winning is the best deodorant.
You smell like a winner.
1010XL.
Get you some of that.
Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL. Installed by Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
Florida football is back as the Gators took the field for the first time in fall camp. After multiple foot injuries last season, wide receiver Dallas Wilson was a full participant today, saying his injuries taught him patience, allowing him to grow and mature. Head coach John Sumrall addressed the quarterback situation, saying there is no timetable on his decision to pick a starter, with Tramel Jones Jr. and Aaron Philo speaking to the media for the first time after practice on Friday.
If you're getting estimates for replacement windows, do yourself a favor. Get one more. Prosser here. I did, and I was blown away. Cash Building Materials' local team is so experienced, and they know exactly what works for Jacksonville homes at a surprising price. You owe it to yourself to see what they can do before making a decision. Before you buy windows or doors, get a cash quote. Search Cash Building Material. Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
I'm Alan Tyre with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners Bill Pappas and Kim Rimley want to thank all of our clients, CPAs, attorneys, bankers, and real estate agents who refer us business every day. If you're ready to purchase, build, or refinance your home, call Trustline Mortgage, your hometown mortgage source since 1989. Call us today at 904-381-LOAN, TrustlineMortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Trustline Mortgage, NMLS 331480. Alan Tyre, NMLS 246490. Bill Pappas, NMLS 218443. Ken Remley, NMLS 246445.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here of Helmets and Heels. It's the little things like a peach milkshake on a warm day that makes summer sweet. And now you can head to your local Chick-fil-A and enjoy a favorite summer treat again. Hand-spun the old-fashioned way, this refreshing milkshake features Chick-fil-A ice cream and peaches. It's the perfect cold treat to enjoy outside on a warm day or with friends and family after dinner. And it's here for just a limited time, so swing by your local Chick-fil-A and treat yourself today.
Train your putt with pitch-perfect pointers from the pros and Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser on Brunch with the Tour. Tuesday morning at 8:30, teed up by Clearwater Irrigation and North Florida Medical Centers.
When it comes to your home or business, experience matters. That's why every apprentice at Local 234, whether training in plumbing, pipe fitting, welding, or HVAC, must pass a rigorous county licensing exam before graduating. It's just one more way Local 234 ensures the next generation of skilled professionals is ready for the job. Before you hire anyone, ask if the work will be performed by a licensed journeyman. Local 234, make the right connection.
Summertime is here, and that means it's grilling season. Now, before you overpay at the big box stores, make a stop at Houston's Meat Company on Main Street in Jacksonville. For more than 50 years, Houston's has been Jacksonville's local butcher shop, serving up quality meats, incredible prices, and the kind of service you just can't find at the grocery chain. Steaks, burgers, chicken, ribs, whatever's on the grill this weekend, Houston's has you covered. Shop local, grill better. Follow Houston's Meats on social for updated weekly specials.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $4,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Tailgaters parking is approaching sellout for this upcoming season. Permanent restrooms, all-day security, and on-site restaurant pavilion. Due to stadium construction, your previous parking may be gone. Log on to tailgatersparking.com today.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. If you have a school, team, or group that would benefit from a team store, you're in luck because we now offer team stores. Check us out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
We're going to get it back to our Jaguars players that need to step up, at least in our eyes, as training camp will resume tomorrow. But time now to veer into Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
Each day I'm going to try and come up with a different verb for Lauren's Lane.
Verb.
So today was veer into. I've used swerve. I've used
Veer,
head
swerve.
into. So maybe
veer.
tomorrow will be merge into.
Crash. I'm just
no, don't put that bad juju on
Crash
me.
into me. There you go.
I am a very defensive driver. I think everyone out there are terrible
That's what you
drivers,
do.
so I have to constantly look out for
That's me
everyone
too.
around me. Quick Major League Baseball note. Last night for the Rays, catcher Liam Hicks became the first player ever in Rays history to make his debut for the team and hit a grand slam.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
It was awesome. He was traded from the Marlins to the Rays ahead of the trade deadline. The Rays did win 9-7. Obviously, they're playing in Colorado at the Rockies, so bombs are hit out of that stadium all the time. I've been there, by the way, one time, and it is gorgeous. If you ever have the chance, even if the Rockies aren't necessarily a great baseball team,
no, I would love to.
That baseball park is so beautiful. They incorporate so much of the Colorado foliage and everything in there. It's great. And then Peralta, by the way, did start for the Rays. Pitched 3.2 innings, gave up 7 earned runs on 9 hits. So not exactly a great start, but maybe he'll settle in there. And then one other baseball note, Tarek Skubal made his debut last night at Wrigley.
Lost.
And lost.
Wah, wah.
Sad.
It was
Wah,
beautiful.
wah, wah.
Yeah, I mean, he pitched well, but you could tell he was already at 85 pitches in the 5th inning, and that's when you could tell him already getting gassed, and Cubs fans were like, "Oh, let's go!" And so there were some moments, obviously, boos for him. That's just going to happen. You go to the Dodgers at this point in time, whenever with the landscape that is what it is, you're going to get booed. Kyle Tucker, I mentioned, got booed the night before. Last night ended up, you could tell he came back with some revenge because he hit a home run early in the game, and I was like, oh no, then made some crazy diving catch at another point, but then ran into the outfield wall at one point and like crashed and fell backwards, and then also got hit. Our catcher went to throw the ball and hit Kyle Tucker in the side of the head at one point. I was like, Kyle Tucker's having this like roller coaster of a game right now. But yeah, so Cubs so far, they're up right now. They're playing them right now 3-1, and so if they win today, it's a sweep of the Dodgers, and the Dodgers have lost 5 straight games at this point. That would make it 6. Their longest stretch this season before that was only 4 games, and that was earlier in the year. So
America's least favorite baseball team right now, the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Rays also play a day game today. That one first pitch was just a few minutes ago, so I'll keep you updated between the Rays and the Rockies if anything happens. And the Rays are up now 1-0 already in the top of the first. All right, one other note when it comes to college football: Florida Gator quarterback intel well from Matt Zenitz and Chris Hummer. Now, granted, this was ahead of today's practice. So I read this morning, and then Florida has had one practice since. And so I don't know exactly what happened with the quarterbacks in that practice, but this is what those two, as far as their intel said. It's Aaron Philo's job to lose. He has the edge in the competition entering fall camp, while Tramel Jones had a few practices during the spring where he outperformed Philo. The Georgia Tech transfer was the more consistent of the two during spring and clearly outperformed Jones in about 10 of those 15 spring practices. Philo, of course, was the backup for Haynes King last season, as we well know, there at Georgia Tech, and he impressed with his ability to bounce back from any lackluster days he had during spring practice. If Philo had a tough day, then the next day he would kill it. So again, they're going to have practices every day now that they've begun fall practice. And I only got to go to the one spring game. Tramel looked better to me than Aaron Philo did, but Philo threw 2 interceptions, and everyone said those weren't exactly his fault and things like that. So we'll continue to keep people updated with the Gators quarterback competition as fall goes along.
So when you're a coach and you got a guy like Jones sitting there, you got to be worried someone's going to try to take him, I would imagine.
Well, they can't now.
They can't.
No.
because
they'd have to
it's
wait.
closed, right?
Yeah,
right,
it's
right,
till
right.
January.
So he's locked for the year.
Right.
Okay.
And so, the question would then be,
are you going to give me a chance to really win the job next year?
Yeah.
Or how much playing time can he get? Will they do a dual quarterback
Yeah,
situation?
sure.
We've seen it work in prior years. I don't think anyone's done it super successfully recently, but obviously Florida did it with Chris Leak and Tim Tebow. Those were 2 excellent quarterbacks of each of their own right. But we'll see if that, just so that they can keep Tramel Jones around moving forward. And happy. But that it'll be fascinating to see. And then a final college football note, USC has withdrawn from a potential series with Texas Tech. That way USC can play Houston and Las Vegas instead. The neutral site games would have pitted Lincoln Riley against his alma mater, but now those games are not going to happen. And that's, of course, just next year and the year after. So you would assume Lincoln Riley will still be the head coach of USC. But they decided to take their talents elsewhere. And that is that. All right, back to our Jaguars conversation. Some players that need to step up. Tom, who's another one you got?
So I'm kind of looking at a group of guys that they've maybe flashed here or there, but not consistently. Danny Strigow's one. The young kid, Wes Williams. He's very athletic. They're going to earn their mark on special teams, I think. Zach Durfee, he's shown some things, but not a ton. I'm waiting for someone to step up. And if I can, I'd like to add Gardek.
I feel like I haven't seen him much at all.
You haven't seen it?
Jalen
Is it
McLeod, Yasir Abdullah.
Yeah.
And Abdullah's done a couple, but nobody's really just where you're like, oh, he had a great day today. You said that about Combs, say that about Ventrell Miller.
Absolutely.
But you don't say
it about Jarian
those
Jones.
guys. Jarian
A lot of the
Jones,
secondary we've talked about in that.
But those guys that kind of, and that's looked to me like we said earlier in the
Matt
week, I feel like.
Dickerson, have you seen anything?
Other than like trying to start fights, no. No. But he's a big, powerful guy. I mean, I could see him in the rotation somewhere.
And Camp talked about him. Sorry, Tom, real quick. Camp talked about him yesterday and how the reason that he got playing time in obviously the regular season is because he was so good on scout team. That Liam was like, this guy just keeps practicing so well. Let's get him in the game.
I wonder if he got any fights while he was on scout team. Where the vets were like, would you knock it off?
Maybe.
Just
Chill.
practice,
We're scouting.
No, but listen, he made plays in the games last year. He did. His name popped up. There's no doubt. He's a big, strong guy. I think, once you get further along, he'll prove that. Problem he has, a row is definitely ahead of him. And then Regis is a draft pick. So, a third rounder, So that's, you got that kind of an uphill climb. But who knows? Maybe he finds a spot. But I think as far as the interior guys, a row you found your third guy, I think. Now, the reason why I brought up those 6 guys or 7 is we got to find another pass rusher. And maybe it's BJ Green a second. I didn't include him because he has shown more than just a flash here or there. It seems like he does something almost every day. We're like, oh, that was good rush, or that looked good, or you know what I mean? So it's just, look, it's eye test stuff, right? We're not watching the film.
Yeah.
We're not watching, now I do like when they have the big screen out there and you can watch the replay.
Rewatch, yeah.
They haven't had that out there in a day or so.
Because sometimes even when you can glance up, because the previous years you kind of are like, who made that catch or who knocked that ball out, and you're asking around, and now you could just look up and rewatch it. So it was nice in that sense.
Nice. It was there yesterday. It was just on the far side because they were practicing on the far side. Yeah, it wasn't closer to the Miller Electric Center building. It was on the other field.
Well, we were on that other side. I didn't see it.
It was like
It was
right
on the
near the
sideline.
little air conditioned.
Oh, it was over on
building
that sideline.
thing, yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that over there, but that I like that thing. But we're just from the eye test. Like you can say, look, Jerry Jones just popped up. I mean, these guys making plays all over the place.
Yeah.
You know. But then those guys you name
Antonio Johnson.
Antonio. Yep. Definitely. You know. The safeties. Eric Murray's shown up.
Yeah.
You know.
Have you
He's
seen
having a good
Ransaw a lot? I personally
Ransaw's on my
haven't seen
list.
Ransaw
He's
a
on
ton
my
either.
list. I want to see more out of him, you know. And I'm sorry that the vision I have is him getting trucked by Chris Rodriguez
Right.
Jr. But that it happens.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like that hasn't happened to everybody, but he's got to step it up a little bit more. I
Yeah.
think, you know. And he's coming off the injury, so he's probably going through
Easing
some
into
mental.
it a little bit, yeah.
You know, it takes time after that serious injury to just jump right. Even no matter how much you rehab and how much you run, how much you cut, everything, you feel great, you're lifting, you're stretching, everything's great. And then you get out there and it's, you know, you're going on off of instinct and it's a lot of quick twitch and you're just not sometimes
And if you
ready.
see a
mentally.
player get carted off, I wonder if that also kind of is in the back of your mind, right? Like everybody kneeling down and it's silent at practice, and does it kind of have that PTSD of
Think about, I'm sorry to cut
No,
you
I
off.
was just gonna say that happened to me. Like
Think about when you're watching practice. How lonely is Cole Van Lanen? He's off by himself. I know he's got the trainers
yeah,
with him.
he has one
back
guy
and
that
forth.
works with him the entire time.
but
which is
and
good,
you
but
got to
yeah.
do it. But he's sitting there going, "Man, I wish I was out there with my guys.
Same
I
with
feel
Christian
so
Braswell.
far away." You know, when you're injured like that. So yeah, that could, you know, I don't know if that's happening with Caleb. Look, the kid's got too much talent to not be showing up. Pretty much every day.
Yeah,
Right.
but
You know, he
he
really
also is technically, he played a little bit of safety in college, but the majority of the time he was outside corner and then played a lot of nickel corner his
nickel
final
rover,
year and
yeah.
tiny bit of safety. So not only are you coming off injury and kind of learning the next level of the NFL defensive back, which I've heard is one of the more difficult things to do, keeping up with some of those wide receivers you have to cover, especially in this room that we've talked about. But then, yeah, it is a different position than he played for the bulk of his college career.
And Eric Murray is fighting, and he ain't going down without a fight. You
Right.
know?
I would say right now, Eric Murray and Antonio Johnson are your
Are my
starting
safeties,
safeties.
yeah.
That's what I would say. But yeah, the injured guys, Christian Braswell is working off to the side.
Yep.
Patrick McCary hasn't been able to fully participate. He's doing obviously more than Cole Van Lanen is because he's at least
He's
around.
in there,
Yeah, and I feel like he did at least a little bit more yesterday than what we've seen. Not the full team stuff, but I felt like I saw him do a couple individual drills.
He looked better yesterday. McCary.
Yeah,
he
McCary.
did.
And so any of those guys that are in that are lumped in, obviously a Jack Kaiser, the moment
Yep.
you get hurt in training camp, it's just so devastating because you want to be able to show what you can do and try and whether it's earn a spot on the 53-man roster or whether it's a practice squad or if it's a starting role.
And think the stakes are high. You get an hour and a half a day on the
To
field.
prove yourself,
To prove.
Right.
And look, 20 minutes of that is warming up and stretching. So actual team evaluation other than individual drills, that's
Yeah, it's
what
just
you
what
get.
you know in the meeting rooms.
Yeah.
And I guess now they can use that room that Travis Hunter's been
virtual.
using, that
Yeah.
virtual room. And so maybe that can at least show the mental side of things. But as far as the physical side,
Yeah.
And guys like a Jamari Taylor and a Jabbar Muhammad that looked so great throughout OTA's, Tanner
The beginning,
Koziel. Yeah, you want to see them continue to step
I
up.
put Jabbar on my list.
Muhammad.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a talented guy, and he made a couple of things here or there, but he was all over the place. In
Oh,
OTAs.
everywhere.
I mean, he was. He was knocking down passes all over the place. So, I'd like to see that step up a little bit more.
What I love about being at practice is the defense is just so vocal that the moment one of them makes a play, the other, Foye can be on the opposite side of the field and they just are screaming and chanting and running up to one another. Like they are talking trash. I love being able to hear that stuff. That's one of my favorite things about going to practice.
Yeah, Jordan Lewis was the best when it was inside. We can't repeat what he said.
That is correct.
You were like, that was great.
And Parker just laughed. Good old Parker.
Parker did. He just laughed. He's like, whatever, buddy. You know. But yeah, listen, they got a chip. They've got it. They've got a little bit of an attitude. I think that comes from, the top. That's what we want. He's telling them, look, forget last year. Like we've got to what's he saying? He's like, we got to be full speed to. What is this saying in the meeting rooms, Liam? It's like we got to attack
the FAST acronym.
Yeah, no, it was something about attacking the I don't know.
The edge.
the edge, maybe, or something like that. Yeah.
Liam's big word this year, not big, but as in like I feel like the buzzword for him this year is intentional. Almost every time he meets with media, it's intentional. And I've noticed now some of the media members are asking him questions with the word intentional or intentionality in it.
Right.
In fact, you guys are just parroting the language, which I love. That's funny. But all right, one question that we can discuss on the other side for the golden moment. If the Jaguars start 4-0, this is from the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 904-641-1010. If the Jaguars start 4-0, does the national media finally start seeing us as a Super Bowl contender with wins over Denver, New England, and Cincinnati? So we can get to that when we return. It's Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
There's something about hearing the game live that makes it all come to life. Feel the energy on 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Whether you're undertaking a major home renovation or just a simple repair request, American Electrical is your 5-star Jacksonville-based electrician to get the work done right. Experienced design building department working seamlessly with their electrical contracting department to help you create beautiful lighting spaces and electrical plans that make your house flow. And remember, with American Electrical, it's wired right at a fair price. Call American Electric at 737-7770. Look for that red, white, and blue eagle on the side of their truck, and you'll know it's American Electrical.
Hey, Tom McManus here. If you've been injured due to someone else's negligence, you got to check out Morgan & Morgan, the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. They got over 1,100 lawyers, over 100 offices. They've recovered over $30 billion. That's $30 billion for all their clients. They don't get a single dime unless you do. They back everything up. I know it's hard to find these days, but Morgan & Morgan, man, they are for the people. And if you get hurt due to someone's neglect, you need to give them a shout. Check them out on your cell at Pound Law. That's all, or at forthepeople.com.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Today's vehicles are smarter than ever, but that also means they need more precision than ever. Features like lane assist, collision warning, and adaptive cruise control all rely on cameras, sensors, part of what's called ADAS. And if those systems are even slightly off, they might not work correctly. That's why, after certain repairs, your vehicle will need ADAS calibration. At G&H Tires and Service, they have the ADAS system, so your vehicle's safety features work the way they're supposed to. Don't guess with your safety. G&H Tires and Service. Precision that protects.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation? From a real person? Good luck. That is what's so nice about Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Unlike publicly traded conglomerates with headquarters in faraway cities, Mike Merritt's Heating and Air remains family-owned and operated by Mike, your neighbor. Mike Merritt has delivered hometown service, integrity, and pricing for generations. The big guys incentivize their techs to sell you new equipment. Mike's team emphasizes repair first. We only sell you equipment if your current equipment is worn out and beyond repair. And let's be honest about price. Small operations without much overhead can sometimes lowball your job, but you can't trust just anyone with a truck. They may be here today and gone tomorrow. Mike Merritt has been keeping North Florida cool for more than 3 decades. That's experience and dedication you can count on. Call today or see us on the web.
Florida license number CAC 050384.
It's time to get your kid in the game with I-9 Sports. From North Jacksonville to Fleming Island, Neptune Beach to Orange Park. I-9 Sports makes it convenient for you just 1 day per week. Fall and winter registration open right now at I-9 Sports. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
This feeling is brought to you by Aleve for Arthritis Pain Relief. What feeling is that? Well, it's the feeling you feel when you have relief from arthritis pain. It's that my hands don't hurt just holding things feeling. That wow, I can actually move well feeling. You know, that go about your day without worrying about every little movement or ache feeling. Oh yeah, because Aleve targets arthritis pain at the source of inflammation for long-lasting relief, so you can keep moving through it. Feel up to 12 hours of arthritis pain relief with 1 dose. Feel Aleve. Use is directed for minor arthritis pain.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
So the question is, if the Jaguars start 4-0, does the national media think of the Jaguars as Super Bowl contenders? What say you, Taylor?
I think yes. I think that I don't even know if it would take starting 4-0. Obviously, you have to, there's always the conversation of how do those wins look and how do the other teams look, because last year you were winning a lot of games and they still didn't believe it because it was like, okay, well, this team's beat up and this team's not good. So that all factors in, but I do think because of the schedule, the way the layout is, you're going against some really good defenses to start the league. So if you're start the year. So if your offense is coming in and winning and looking like they did that final stretch of 5 or 6 games of last season, and your defense, that's been more of the question, because I think when you go back to that Bills game, despite 2 interceptions from Trevor, it just felt like every time Josh Allen got the ball, they were scoring. And we were just talking about it off air a little bit. He completed 80% of his passes. You only sacked him 1 time. They couldn't run the ball. So it's not like they had this balanced offense that was working. You were stopping the run and they still were just pretty much throwing it wherever they wanted with not even, and now they add DJ Moore to that, by the way. So I do think that if you go through and you're talking about a defense that has fixed some of those things that were glaring in the postseason of why you lost that game, I think that there's no way that anybody can deny that this is a Super Bowl contending team, because I think people would argue right now the offense could already be there. Is the defense fixed enough to be able to contend with some of these better offenses with Lamar back and Joe back and Mahomes back? And that is where that answer, I think, will come from.
Yeah, I mean, look, you beat Denver, New England, and Cincinnati. You know, you're waking up the AFC. You know, you're saying, hey, we're for real. You think you're for real right now, but that would prove it a little more. Beat Philly and Houston, go 6-0, and then you'll totally be Super Bowl contenders. Listen, you know, I get why fans want the love from the national media. I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just fun to talk about going 4-0. That's the golden moment.
Right.
Is we get to even right now dream of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Envision it.
Right.
We're not like having a conversation of where can we get the first win?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I hate to even bring it up, but I think we've talked about this. If the Jaguars lose to the Browns, all of the goodwill that was built
Air
up
will be sucked out a little bit.
The balloon will be deflated a little bit.
And here's the thing, man.
But those are good teams if they go 4-0.
Yeah, for sure. And then you just never know what happens from there, you know, because hopefully they continue on and stay consistent.
We've seen this team start 8-3 and not make the playoffs. We've seen the Colts last year they were 9-2 and then didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Again, quarterback injury, but that's not what we're talking about.
No, right. But anything can happen in this game.
Yeah, I don't care if the national media talks about us. And I'll tell you from my vantage point, I don't spend a lot of time watching what the national media pundits say.
Yeah.
I don't spend a lot of time watching NFL Network or the ESPN NFL shows. Like, I spend far more time researching about the teams we're about to play, and then focusing on college football as well. Like, what the talking heads say, and I know we're talking heads, so I get it's ironic that I'm saying I don't
people aren't
care.
here every day watching every practice and camp and going through all of that. And I think too, I almost would rather them not. Like, I live in that world because I feel like it's. You've gotten bitten so many times in the past where you do have this hype coming in. After 2017, it was like, oh, the Jags are winning the Super Bowl. After 2022, it was like, oh, they're true contenders, and everyone's hyping up everything. And sometimes I do think this regime and locker room could handle that better than some of those other teams. You saw that they weren't able to handle that, all of the attention and limelight they were getting. And I do think that this team and the way that Liam and Camp and Gladstone are, they would be able to handle that better. But sometimes it's kind of nice to not have to, you have your own expectations. Now add all of the national media throwing these expectations at you. You do one thing wrong and now you're upset. And then also all the national media is like, oh, here they go again. So sometimes it's nice to be under the radar a little bit. And then next thing you know, you're 6-1 and people are like, oh, they're for real. I like those moments more than I do all the off-season hype. You can do all you want in the off-season. That doesn't always transfer to wins in a Super Bowl during the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, look at Peter Schrager's great. I have no problem with Peter.
Agreed.
You know, he has an interview with Liam, and now we're his favorite team, and you're just going off what Liam says. You can't just go off what the coach tells you.
Yeah.
He's going to tell you the good stuff. You got to check it out, you know. So, but whatever, they got a job to do. It's all good. Listen, at the end of the day, we all know you just got to win. You got to keep winning. I will say this, and I truly mean this. I don't feel any hype on the field at all. I don't, from the team.
Yeah.
You know, where in years past, it's been different. It's like they have a great year, and then it's like just it's too much. It's almost like, guys, settle down.
2018 and 2023.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Yeah, you won. It was great last year, but you didn't. You're getting way too big for your britches, almost in the clouds. Your head is in the damn clouds. I don't feel any of that with this regime. I don't think they're going to allow that to happen.
Yeah.
And we felt it out on the field. You'd be like, oh, wow, they're really like, we're going to break records. Remember that? What was that? 2023.
Yes.
We're going to break all these records. Yeah, great. You end up crap. At the end of the day. So. But I don't feel that from this team. I feel like these guys got a chip. They got an attitude. They're earning it. They're starting it over. What have you done for me lately? Not resting on our laurels. Loyals. But anyway, I think they are. I think the camp's been very physical, demanding. Even if, it's not all day long, but they're working and they're getting after it. And they're being physical as all get out. They're being pretty smart, too, at the same time. I would like to see a goal line scrimmage, Coach. One of these days that would be fun.
Maybe on Friday.
Goal line scrimmage. But yeah,
I don't think they're going to do any live tackling until the joint practices.
Again, do we go to it is going to be both NFC and AFC they're going to be eight deep probably on each side that are going to be legitimate. Maybe not Super Bowl contenders, but tough outs. Like really, really
Did anyone
tough
have the
outs.
Patriots as a Super Bowl contender last year?
No, because they were
Absolutely
4-13 or
Correct.
3-14 like we were.
Right.
Yeah,
and while
they
their
didn't.
schedule wasn't as difficult as other teams, it doesn't matter.
Right.
They made it to the Super Bowl. I don't know that a lot of people even had the Seahawks up there.
Yeah.
They
Right.
said they would be good,
Right, but LA was ahead of them.
of course they were.
Yep.
And other teams, for the 49ers, they were probably picked to finish. I would imagine the
That was a
Seahawks were
good
picked
one.
to finish third in their division last season. So, yeah.
Because of
ju-
Darnold.
Right. Just
Yeah.
because of media hype doesn't mean, obviously, a whole lot. But I do think you can be swayed, the national media can be swayed by those types of interviews. Like a coach is more fun with you or has a good time or says something kind of spicy.
Yeah.
You latch on to that. A coach is much more like
closed off and reserved.
exactly and just coach speak.
Yeah.
Like you don't enjoy that as much. Well, that team might be better prepared to
Yeah.
practice and play games because the coach isn't worried about getting you to like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's what Liam did.
No,
I'm
I
just saying
know.
that can happen.
I honestly, I don't even need to hear the coach.
Yeah, you're not a press
and I feel
conference
bad
guy.
for the coordinators that got to address the media on Thursday. Is it like why do you have to talk to the coordinators? It's good for them. It's good training for them. But why? Talk to the head coach. And just that should be it.
Because the head coach doesn't want to meet that many
I
times
don't want
a
to
week.
force you to do that,
Yeah.
or why you have to do. Look, there's got to be access, especially for the local media. That's part of the deal, right? And the national media when they come in. And I think they do a pretty good job of hiding some things. And I don't mean like hiding in that way, but not showing everything.
Yeah.
When it's closed doors, they're showing different stuff. When we're out there from time to time, I think they're doing that. So again, I just like the feel, and the feel to me is that these guys are being told inside that building, hey man, we haven't done anything and we got to earn every inch of this thing, so let's do it now and we'll reap the benefits as we move around during the season. They coach them really hard, and I think they celebrate them hard too. I think there's that equal passion which you need to have, because when the coach is beating on you all the time,
right,
but then he says, hey man, that was a great job, you're like, oh, okay, I get why you beat on me, it's okay. If you're going to give me that, right? It's like a parent, right? You come home with a good report card and they give you a hug or take you out to dinner. You come home with a bad report card, they spank you and send you to your room with no dinner. You know the difference, so it's same with a football team. But I think this team's got the right medal, the right doesn't mean they're going to win the Super Bowl, but they got the right attitude going in to a year after they had wicked success. I mean, 13-5 is an unbelievable year, no matter how you slice it up. And they not acting like their heads are in the clouds at all.
I do wonder a little bit because, and we obviously know how Liam Cohen is and how James Gladstone and Coach Camp and the whole coaching staff of how they kind of internally motivate these guys, and we've talked about that a lot too. And so in that sense, we know they are a large part of why they are the players are handling it right now, and you don't feel all this hype like we're the best and we're going to do this and this. They're here, they take it day by day. Even last year when they kept winning, it was like one game at a time. Let's just keep just get the W next week. And when you go back to 17 and 22, it's like in 17, you were 2 minutes away from going to the Super Bowl. And so there was still this like, oh man, we were almost there. And then in 2022, you did beat the Chargers. You came back, and after throwing 4 picks, you had this resurgence, and then you were really close to beating the Chiefs. This last year, you won 13 games and then you couldn't get out of the first round of the postseason. So there has to be a little bit of frustration in that sense. We've heard Liam Cohen. He was very vocal after the season started. I'm sure players felt the same way. It wasn't that like, oh man, we won a game and we were right there. It was like, oh, we got in the postseason, couldn't get past the wild card round.
And the Bills didn't make it to the Super Bowl, so you didn't lose to that Super Bowl contender. All right, one segment to go here. 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Frank Frangie here for Bono's Pit Barbecue, and I've got 3 words for you. Ribs, ribs, ribs. Bono's Rib Platter are at a low price right now. Plus, you get 2 Southern sides and garlic toast with each platter. Plus, beat the summer heat with Lou's Lemonade and Strawberry Lemonade. Ice cold Southern classic that's the perfect match for Jacksonville's favorite barbecue since 1949. To find the Bono's near you, head to bonosbarbecue.com. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. Head to Bono's today.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care. Official dental partner of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Tom McManus here for Armstrong Fence Company, a locally owned First Coast business for nearly 20 years. Hurricane season is here. Don't wait for the first storm warning. Your fence is your first line of defense. Loose boards, weak posts, or damage can turn into big problems when high winds come around. Armstrong Fence Company handles repairs and builds from stadiums to backyards. Get a pre-storm fence check today. Call Armstrong Fence Company or search online. Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, Tommy back here for John's Pest Solution. This time of year means football season, but it also means pests are wreaking havoc both in your yard and in your house. Trust the people that I trust. John's Pest Solutions, good friends of mine, and they'll solve all your pesky pest issues. From scary spiders and annoying gnats to maddening mosquitoes, John's Pest Solutions will treat your lawn and your house. You can stop scratching and killing bugs and focus on the game at hand. Visit johnspestsolutions.com today. That's johnspestsolutions.com.
Hey, it's Greg from 1010XL, and I want to share some cold, hard truth with our listeners. I've been around 250 pounds for the last 15, 20 years, but this year, I finally found a strategy that works for me. This week, my scale says 200. That's 50 pounds gone forever in just 3 months with Awaken 180. Not shooting chemicals in my body every week. I'm eating real food every single day. And obviously, I'm not some celebrity telling you about a magic new food or asking you to count points or calories. You're just eating food to lose weight. It's that simple. So whatever your goal weight is, Awaken 180 will get you there quickly and safely. It's a clear path without disappointment. I'm down 50. Matt dropped 40 pounds in 2 months. Hackers lost over 100. And Frank's daughter is down over 150 pounds in less than a year. Awaken 180 changed our lives, and I promise it'll change yours too. Give them a call at 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
Believe it or not, back to school is just around the corner. Before the schedules fill up, the lunches get packed, and life gets hectic again, take care of one thing you've been putting off: your home's plumbing. That dripping faucet, slow drain, or running toilet isn't going to fix itself. Schedule any plumbing service with Duck Rooter this month, and we'll include a free water heater inspection at no additional charge. Cross one more thing off your back-to-school checklist. When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
update on Rays Rockies. The Rays are up 2-0 while Tom drums. And over there at Wrigley Field, Pete Crow Armstrong's having a day.
Yeah, 2 homers. He's 3 for 3, 2 homers, a triple, and Cubs are up 6-1 in the bottom of the 4th.
All right.
All of America's cheering for the Cubs right
Cubs
now.
go.
I feel like it. So I played softball for one season. I was absolutely horrendous, right? They threw me in at pitcher. I was terrible. And then I also couldn't hit. So really, I was the worst softball player, honestly, in the history of the world. If I could hit a triple, I think that would be just the most fun. Like, I understand a home run is super cool, but like actually reaching on base in a triple, like there's just something super awesome about that.
Yeah, I saw something. I'm trying to remember. It might have been the Astros yesterday. The guy thought he hit a home run, and he's jogging, goes all the way around and hits home plate and turns around, and like the guy in the outfield's like, I caught the ball. Pretty sure it was the Astros. I was like, I'd be so mad if I ran all the way around the bases and
you
didn't
think
get
that you would have picked up on the crowd.
Nobody's excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, triple, you're sprinting, right? So you're like sprinting
Depending
to that
on
third
slide.
base.
Yes,
Like,
you're probably
they
and
probably
there
head
are stand-up
first.
triples,
Yeah.
but
Oh, there are,
obviously not
yeah,
often.
yeah.
It just depends on where the ball lands. And
If you
how
get that
difficult it
corner,
is.
like like right field corner or
Yeah.
something, usually you
They
can
get stuck
set
in
them
there.
Yeah.
You know, it
And
hits the one wall. goes
They're
to the other
bouncing
one.
around. They're like, okay.
And if the outfielder has any sort of air with it too,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
sometimes you can do a stand-up triple.
Yeah.
But I just feel like that would be awesome. I mean, obviously to hit for the cycle and hit a
Yeah.
grand slam, like there's so many
Those are
different
great.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
To
when
hit-
you're on third base and you get to just stand there for a minute and be like, yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone's
And
looking.
then steal home.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That would be.
Yeah, the one we've
Triple
talked
steal
about.
home.
Yeah, of
One
course.
day.
That would
Come
be
on.
You
good.
can do that in your,
Come on, Crow.
if you played the MLB
that.
show
Throw.
game. You can,
I've told you all about Chandler Simpson on the Rays, who's the fastest man in baseball right
Yeah.
now, or certainly one of. This season, he has 28 stolen bases in the 105 games that they've played so far. So he's so fun to watch. They obviously have some power hitters, but
Yeah.
he's so much fun to watch because you can tell he gets in the pitcher's head.
Do they
Oh,
still
yeah.
get into like back in the day? Like steals were huge, right?
Yeah.
You know, you're like the top guys. Raines was one of them, right? Tim Raines. You know, that used to be like a real big stat that you kept an eye on. Do they still
That's
do that
because
today?
people got on base more than they
Yeah.
do now.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Now there's less contact. It's more power,
Okay.
home
Okay.
runs and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So there's
Okay.
less people
Lot
on
more
base.
base
so therefore
runners.
Less stealing?
Yeah.
Right, way less
Wow.
stealing.
Yeah.
For sure.
yeah. Pete also has 26 steals
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
Of course he does.
Let's say hello to the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hayes Carline joins us now. Hayes, were you locked into the Florida Gators' first practice today?
Yeah, absolutely. It's great seeing Dallas Wilson back out there. I think he's extraordinary. So if he can stay healthy, I think he can be, right in the contention for all SEC honors. And that would obviously put him in the mix for All-American honors. So they've got other receivers that everybody's excited about, and I get that. But to me, Dallas Wilson has the potential to be uncoverable when he's healthy. And so, yeah, that was great to see. But, yeah, excited about the Summerall era. At least this is another step towards, getting to the regular season. So, yeah, it was great seeing the Gators out on the field. And we'll certainly talk about that coming up on the Frangie Show. And, get into the Jaguars as well. We can kind of take a breath today and sort of assess what we've seen for the first 6 days, but also more importantly, start kind of looking ahead to what do they now need to get out of this next block before they go to New Orleans. So a lot of fun stuff, a lot of football talk coming up on the Frangie Show.
Did you get a haircut on the day off?
I did.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
They look good.
Yeah,
Way to make the most of
absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you. I appreciate
The
it.
hairs look good. Hey.
All right.
All
Thank
of
you
them.
guys.
All right, thanks,
Oh.
Hayes. Okay, so I couldn't find stolen bases from recently, but I
Ricky
know
Henderson.
I know
Remember
in
him?
1995 there were a total of 2,933 stolen bases.
Okay, almost 3,000.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't know recently what
that
it
would
is,
be.
but I would imagine it's
Okay.
far less than that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see. Maybe so I'm coming up with that there's more now. That
Do they
there were
do pitch
3,500
runners
in
for steals
2023.
anymore? Like you get the
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
There can't be
It will
more
be-
stolen bases now, can there be? Than in 1995?
So it does say stolen bases were more common in older eras and have recently surged again in the
Okay.
last few years
Okay.
because of different game strategies, fewer home run hitters, and rules that favored runners. And modern baseball leading up to the 2020s, analytics proved that making an out trying to steal was too closely causing teams to run, or it was too close, so causing teams to run less. But it sounds like there's a
Yeah.
resurgence in the
Because that used to be a big, like, you steal a base. Like, that was huge.
Right. Yeah. So in 2015, there were 2,500. So fewer then. So like we said, maybe a resurgence. But there you have it.
Yeah. What do you know?
What do you know? Just watch more baseball. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And steal that base when you can.
That's right.
And don't get caught stealing.
That'll do it for us today. No show tomorrow, but certainly thanks to everyone for listening today. And we'll be back on Friday. For Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you Friday, but